Albert Froz, The Lighthouse Secrets. Chapter 1. The Body. The fishing village Nykøbing Moors woke to a quiet gray dawn. Boats swayed gently in the harbor. Gulls circled above the water, and the sea carried the smell of salt and wet wood onto the old docks. Inspector Linnea Hartman, recently transferred from Copenhagen, stepped out of her car and looked toward the shore. The call had come early, a body found near the lighthouse. She pulled up the hood of her coat, walked across the slippery pier, and stopped near a blue fishing boat. A fisherman stood there, strong shoulders, tired eyes. His face was pale. "You found her?" Linnea asked. He nodded. "My name is Søren Carlson. I was checking the nets when I saw something red in the water. Then the hair. I thought maybe a seal caught a piece of cloth." He shuddered. The body lay on a stretcher, covered by a blanket. One strand of dark hair had slipped out, wet and heavy. Linnea knelt, lifted the edge of the blanket, and froze. A young woman, no older than 20. Pale skin, thin wrists, a scratch across her cheek, and something clutched in her hand, a small old coin with an anchor and a faint cross. Linnea's voice lowered. "Who is she?" "Someone from the university," the fisherman muttered. "A student who came here a week ago. Emily Roos." A gust of cold wind swept across the pier. Linnea stood up. Something about the girl's expression, frozen between fear and determination, told her this was no accident. "Call the coroner," she ordered. "We're treating this as homicide." The fisherman hesitated. "Inspector, there's something else." He pointed toward the old lighthouse. Its windows were dark, like empty eyes. "Last night, the light went out. First time in 30 years. Linnea narrowed her eyes. A dead student, an old coin, a lighthouse that suddenly stopped shining. Something was very wrong in this quiet Danish town. Chapter 2. The autopsy room smelled of disinfectant, steel, and cold air. Emily Roos lay on the table, pale under the white lamp. Linnea pulled on gloves and approached the body while the pathologist, Dr. Henrik Lunde, made notes. "Cause of death?" Linnea asked. Dr. Lunde sighed. "Drowning, but not the usual kind. There are bruises on her wrists and shoulders. She was held down. Someone wanted her in the water." Linnea swallowed. The coin Emily had been holding still rested in a small plastic evidence bag. She lifted it toward the light. "19th century, the doctor said. Local mint. We found similar coins in the regional museum. On one side, an anchor. On the other, 7 small dots forming a circle." "What does it mean?" Linnea asked. The doctor shrugged. "Could be a guild symbol. There were old trading families here, shipbuilders, merchants, secret societies, private councils. Small towns hide many things." Linnea slipped the coin into her pocket. "What about this cut on her cheek? Fresh, possibly a branch, nail, or someone's ring." Linnea's phone vibrated. A message from the forensic lab. Under the girl's nails, wood fibers, likely from an old door or railing. Old wood, salt, rust. The lighthouse. Outside, rain dripped from the gray sky. Linnea walked along the harbor, past storage buildings and empty nets. At the end of the pier, the lighthouse towered above the sea, tall, dark, silent. She climbed the metal stairs. The wind howled through broken boards. Inside, the walls smelled of seaweed and old oil. Dust lay thick on the floor, except for one trail of footprints leading up. Someone had been here recently. On the top platform, she found a wooden box. She opened it carefully. Inside were more coins, identical to the one Emily held, 8 in total. But something else was inside, a printed photograph, faded, creased, but clear enough. 7 adults standing on the pier, dressed in formal coats. Behind them, the lighthouse. On the back of the photo was a handwritten note, the 7 houses. Linnea felt the hair on her neck rise. 7 dots on the coin, 7 people in the photo, 7 houses. Emily hadn't drowned by accident. She had uncovered something, and someone made sure she never told anyone. The lighthouse groaned under the wind. Linnea stood alone at the top, the whole sea beneath her, and whispered, "What did you find, Emily, and why did it kill you?" Chapter 3. The Professor. The University of Aarhus stood behind a line of bare winter trees, red brick shining under a pale sun. Students hurried between buildings, wrapped in scarves and headphones. Only one man seemed to be walking slowly, carefully, as if each step carried weight from the past. Professor Erik Hellström. Linnea recognized him from his academic photo, white beard, thin face, glasses with old-fashioned frames. He taught history of Northern Europe and specialized in secret maritime guilds. They sat in his office, among dusty books and maps. On the table, Linnea placed a coin in a plastic bag. 19th century, 7 dots around an anchor, she said. "What do you know about this coin?" Hellström leaned forward. His hands trembled slightly. This coin belonged to the Guild of St. Mariner, a very old society on the Danish coast. They controlled trade routes, shipping taxes, and even lighthouses. 7 families, 1 from each house. He paused. Some say they still exist, quiet, hidden. Linnea raised her eyebrow. A modern secret society? Not modern, the professor whispered. Old traditions never disappear. They just learn to wear new clothes. Linnea slid the photograph across the table. 7 adults standing at the pier. Hellström's face paled. "Where did you get this?" "Near the lighthouse. Emily Ruis found it, before she died." The professor closed his eyes for a moment. Then he spoke quietly. "Emily came to me a month ago. She said she discovered something in Nykøbing. Old documents, house registries, maps of the lighthouse. She believed the guild still meets there." "And you believed her?" His voice trembled. "I warned her to stop, to leave it alone. She didn't listen." Linnea felt a chill. "Did she mention names?" The professor hesitated. His hands gripped the edge of the table. "Only one, a fisherman, Søren Carlson." Linnea froze. Søren, the man who found the body. The professor continued. His family has been here for centuries. His father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were all members of the 7 houses. Carlson is not just a fisherman. He is a guardian of the guild. Linnea remembered his pale face at the harbor, the way he asked for help, the worry in his voice. "Are you telling me Soren is involved in Emily's death?" Hellstrom shook his head. "I don't know, but if the guild still exists, he is not an outsider. Be careful, Inspector. People protect their secrets, especially when they are inherited." Linnea took the coin and stood. Outside, the wind carried the smell of wet leaves and ocean salt. Students laughed somewhere in the courtyard, young, carefree, untouched by the shadows of the lighthouse. She checked her phone. New message. Unknown number. "You're getting close. Stop now." Linnea lowered the phone slowly. She did not stop.
Chapter 4. Night settled over New Kobing like a thick, dark blanket. The sea was quiet, even the gulls slept. Only the old lighthouse stood awake, black and silent, its windows reflecting the moon like empty eyes. Linnea drove slowly along the narrow coastal road. The professor's warning echoed in her mind. If the guild still exists, the lighthouse is where they meet. She parked far from the shore and approached on foot. The air smelled of salt and wet stone. Waves licked the rocks below, steady and cold. When she reached the lighthouse, the door was closed, but not locked. Inside, it was silent. Dust, rusted metal, scraps of wood. She turned on her flashlight and began to climb the narrow, winding staircase. Her boots echoed softly against the iron steps. Halfway up, she saw something new. Fresh footprints in the dust. Someone had been here recently. Maybe tonight. Linnea kept climbing. Her breath grew faster, her heart louder. At the top, she pushed open the heavy door to the lantern room. The room was empty, except for a single chair in the center, and on it, another coin. This one was darker, worn and scratched, but the anchor and 7 dots were the same. Linnea bent down to pick it up. A sound below. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. She turned off her flashlight. The room plunged into darkness. A door creaked. Someone else was in the tower. Linnea pressed her back against the cold wall, listening. The footsteps climbed the stairs, one step at a time. They stopped just outside the lantern room. Then a man's voice. Inspector Hartman. The voice was calm, familiar. She didn't move. "You shouldn't be here alone," he continued. "This place, it remembers too much. It keeps secrets." The door opened slowly. Moonlight fell across the floor, revealing a tall figure. Soren Carlson. He stepped inside, hands empty, face unreadable. "Why are you following me?" Linnea demanded. Soren didn't answer right away. He walked to the window and looked out over the water. "This lighthouse has stood here for more than 100 years. 7 families kept it lit. My family was one of them." "The 7 houses," Linnea said quietly. He nodded. "We protected the coast, the ships, the town. People don't remember now, but we do." Linnea's hand tightened on her gun. "Emily found something about the guild." Soren turned to her. His eyes were tired. "She asked
questions she should not have asked, and she went places she should not have gone. "Did you kill her?" Linnea asked sharply. He looked genuinely hurt. "No, I found her. I tried to pull her from the water. I couldn't." His voice cracked. "I didn't want her to die." The tower went silent. Only the wind moaned through the glass. "There are others," Søren said. "Older, more powerful. People who protect the past at any cost." "Who are they?" Linnea demanded. He shook his head. "If I tell you, I won't live to see tomorrow, and maybe neither will you." Down below, a door slammed. Loud voices carried up the stairwell, angry, fast, getting closer. Søren's face went pale. "We have to go, now." "Who is coming?" He didn't answer. He just grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the stairs. As they ran down, Linnea heard the heavy steps of several men coming up. Not police, not fishermen. Men who moved with purpose. Hunters, not wanderers.
Søren whispered, "You wanted truth, Inspector. Now the guild knows your name." They reached the door, burst into the cold night, and ran across the rocks as the lighthouse behind them filled with shadows. The sea roared, like the town itself was waking up. Emily was right. Something lived in the dark, and now it was coming for them. Chapter 5. Evening fell over Nykøbing like a quiet threat. The town looked peaceful. Warm lights in windows, bicycles on the square, fishermen repairing nets. But Linnea knew better now. Peace was only the surface. She sat in her office at the small police station and spread a map across the table. With a red marker, she marked 7 addresses, 7 old houses, 7 wealthy families, 7 legacies tied to the guild. Some owned shipping companies, some controlled land, some controlled the harbor, and all of them had something to lose. Her phone vibrated. Unknown number. Stop. No name, no threats, just a command. Linnea ignored it and kept working. An hour later, she drove to the harbor. The wind had died. The sea was flat and black, reflecting the lights like broken mirrors. A small boat rocked near the pier, Søren's boat, but he was nowhere in sight. Linnea walked along the dock, flashlight sweeping across the boards. Something glinted at the edge of the water. She knelt. A silver watch, its strap torn, the glass cracked. Not old, not rusted. Someone had dropped it recently or lost it in a struggle.
The man's face was pale under the street lamp. Thomas Berg, the quiet bookseller, the first man who told her about the lighthouse. His neck was bruised, his hand scraped. He hadn't slipped, someone pushed him. "No cameras?" Linnea asked through clenched teeth. "The harbor lights went out for 10 minutes, an officer said, right before he fell. Too perfect, too controlled, just like Emily." Linnea took a slow breath and looked at the shadows near the water. For the first time since she arrived, she felt truly watched. Back at the station, she pinned Berg's photo next to Emily's. 2 deaths, 2 warnings. On her map, she wrote 7 names. Sorensen family,
Holmgard family, Rasmussen family, Bjerre family, Hellström family, Newgård family, and Carlson family. The Hellströms, the professor's family, were one of the 7, and the Carlsons, Soren, were at the center. Linnea stared at the 7th name. So the man who pulled Emily from the water wasn't just a witness. He was an heir, a guardian, perhaps a killer, or perhaps the only one trying to stop the others. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock on the door. A nervous officer stepped in. "Inspector, someone left this for you." He placed a small envelope on her desk. No name, no stamp. Inside was a scrap of paper. "You are looking into the past, but the answer is among the living. Do not go alone." No signature, just a faint scent of salt water. Linnea set the note down and looked at the map. 7 houses, 7 names, 7 doors she needed to knock on. But not tonight. Tonight she finally understood. This wasn't about history. It was about power. And someone in Nykøbing was willing to kill to keep it.
Rain beat against the windows of the police station, steady and cold. The kind of Danish rain that made the whole world gray. Linnea sat at her desk, staring at the map marked with 7 red circles. 7 houses, 7 families, 7 secrets. Soren Carlson was at the very center. Her phone buzzed. Inspector Hartman, a young officer said, breathless. "We checked the harbor cameras. The footage wasn't damaged. It was erased, manually. Someone hacked the system." Linnea closed her eyes. Too clean, too careful. Not a random criminal. Someone professional. Someone confident. "Anything else?" The officer hesitated and then held out a folder. "The coin, the old one we found in the girl's hand. The museum confirmed it. Minted for members of the Saint Mariner Guild. A private currency. Only 7 families ever had the right to carry them." Linnea touched the plastic bag where the coin rested. So Emily hadn't just found a trinket. She had found proof. That evening, Linnea drove to the old lighthouse again. The sky was lowering, heavy with dark clouds. Waves smashed against the rocks, sending foam into the air. She parked far from view and approached on foot. Inside, the lighthouse was silent, too silent. The air smelled of rust and old oil. Her shoes left prints in the dust, but she wasn't the first. Fresh footprints traced the stairs upward. Then voices. Down below, beneath the metal grate. Linnea knelt and listened. It was done quietly. A deep male voice said, "The bookseller said too much, and the girl, she got too close." Another voice, "And the inspector? If she keeps digging, she'll join them in the water." Linnea's pulse pounded. She tried to step back, and a pebble snapped under her boot. Silence below.
Chapter 6. Rain beat against the windows of the police station, steady and cold, the kind of Danish rain that made the whole world gray. Linnea sat at her desk, staring at the map marked with 7 red circles. 7 houses, 7 families,
7 secrets. Søren Carlson was at the very center. Her phone buzzed. "Inspector Hartman," a young officer said, breathless. "We checked the harbor cameras. The footage wasn't damaged. It was erased, manually. Someone hacked the system." Linnea closed her eyes. Too clean, too careful. Not a random criminal. Someone professional. Someone confident. "Anything else?" The officer hesitated and held out a folder. "The coin, the old one we found in the girl's hand. The museum confirmed it. Minted for members of the St. Mariners Guild. A private currency. Only 7 families ever had the right to carry them." So Emily hadn't just found a trinket. She had found proof. That evening, Linnea drove to the old lighthouse again. The sky was lowering, heavy with dark clouds. Waves smashed against the rocks, sending foam into the air. She parked far from view and approached on foot. Inside, the lighthouse was silent, too silent. The air smelled of rust and old oil. Her shoes left prints in the dust, but she wasn't the first. Fresh footprints traced the stairs upward. Then voices, down below, beneath the metal grate. Linnea knelt and listened. "It was done quietly," a deep male voice said. "The bookseller said too much, and the girl, she got too close." Another voice. "And the inspector? If she keeps digging, she'll join them in the water." Her pulse pounded. She tried to step back, and a pebble snapped under her boot. Silence below. Then the crash of a metal chair. Someone shouted, "Someone's here!" Footsteps thundered up the stairs. Linnea spun and ran, down the narrow spiral, out into the storm, her flashlight beam shivering across the rocks. From the shadows near the shoreline, someone stepped out. Tall, dark coat, face hidden. Linnea raised her gun. "Police! Don't move!" The figure lifted his hand slowly. "Easy, Inspector." The voice was familiar. "It's me." Lightning flashed and she saw his face. Professor Hellstrom. He moved toward her, breathless. "You can't stay here. They know you heard them. Come with me." "Who are they?" Linnea demanded. "The Guild," Hellstrom whispered. "The descendants of the 7 houses. They still make decisions in this town, and they don't forgive questions." "Was Soren with them?" "He was raised by them," the professor said, "but I don't know if he follows them or fights them." Behind them, loud voices echoed from inside the tower. Flashlights swept across the rocks. "We have to go, now!" Hellstrom pulled her toward a black SUV hidden behind an abandoned warehouse. They got inside, and tires sprayed gravel as they sped away from the lighthouse. She looked back. Dark silhouettes stood at the lighthouse entrance, watching their car vanish into the night. Hunters. No more hiding. No more coincidence. Emily's murder wasn't a mistake. It was a message. Chapter 7. Storm clouds rolled over the sea, dark and heavy, turning the waves into black mountains. The car raced down the coastal road, wipers struggling against sheets of rain. Linnea held the coin tightly in her hand, as if it were the last solid thing left in the world. Professor Hellstrom drove, jaw tense, eyes fixed on the road. "They won't let us go far," he said quietly. "The Guild has eyes everywhere here." Linnea's voice was hard. "Where are you taking me?" "Somewhere safe, somewhere they won't search." But before he could finish, headlights appeared behind them. Then another pair. 2 black cars. Hellstrom cursed under his breath and pushed the accelerator down. The engine roared. "They've found us." The storm howled as the cars gained distance, tires hissing over wet asphalt. Linnea leaned out the window and aimed at the nearest car. The shot cracked through the night, glass shattered, and the vehicle swerved, nearly sliding off the road. The second car pulled closer. Then a flash of light, a gunshot. The back window exploded. Hellstrom jerked the wheel, and the car skidded across the road, spinning toward the cliff. Linnea grabbed the wheel, controlling the skid just enough for the car to slide to a stop inches from the edge. Both were breezing hard. First car damaged, second car circling back. They didn't have time. "We run," Linnea said. They jumped out and raced across the rocky shore, toward the lighthouse that stood like a dark tooth against the storm. Thunder shook the sky, rain lashed their faces. Behind them, doors slammed, men shouting. Flashlights cut through the darkness. Linnea and the professor reached the lighthouse just as the metal door swung open from inside. A shadow stepped out, tall, broad-shouldered, hood pulled low. Linnea raised her gun. Lightning struck, lighting his face. Soren Carlson. Rain streamed down his hair and beard. "Inside," he said. "Now." They didn't have time to argue. The 3 slipped into the lighthouse and barred the door. Voices and footsteps approached from outside. Soren stood at the window slit, watching.
They won't shoot the lighthouse. Too obvious, too loud. Who are they? Linnea demanded. Your family? Your guild? He shook his head slowly. Not mine. I never wanted the inheritance. I tried to walk away, but no one walks away from the 7 houses. Hellstrom spoke softly. They killed Emily, didn't they? Soren's face twisted with grief. She came to me for help. She found records in the lighthouse, old shipping ledgers, coded messages, lists of payments. She said she would tell you. He looked at Linnea. I told her to leave town. She didn't listen. Outside, footsteps stopped. Silence, except for the waves. They're waiting for us to come out, Linnea whispered. Then we don't, Soren replied. We go down. Without explaining, he opened a rusted hatch in the floor. A narrow tunnel led downward, carved into the rock. It's an old smuggler's passage, he said. It leads to the cliffs. If we move now, we can lose them in the storm. Hellstrom climbed first. Linnea followed. Soren began to close the hatch when a gunshot exploded from outside. The door shuddered, wood splintered. They were out of time. Go, Soren shouted. He slammed the hatch shut and dropped into the tunnel behind them as the door upstairs burst open and boots thundered into the lighthouse. In the darkness, Linnea heard the storm, the sea, and the footsteps of men who wanted her dead. But she also heard something else. Soren's voice, low and steady. I'm with you now. No more secrets. The tunnel carried them deeper into the rock, away from the lighthouse, away from the hunters, but not away from the guild. Now the guild knew exactly who they were, and the game had just changed. The tunnel was narrow and wet, lit only by the thin beam of Linnea's flashlight. Water dripped from the ceiling, echoing like distant footsteps. The smell of salt and old stone clung to the air. Soren led the way, moving with the confidence of someone who knew every twist of the underground path. This passage was built for smugglers, he whispered. Later, the guild used it for meetings. No one outside the 7 houses knows it exists. Linnea checked behind them. Darkness, but she could still hear faint echoes from the lighthouse. They were being followed. After several minutes, the tunnel opened into a larger chamber, a cave carved by the sea and shaped by hands. Shelves of rusted iron lined the walls, filled with old crates, glass bottles, and moldy ledgers. Hellstrom stared in awe. "It's real!" He ran his hand over a wooden chest. "The Salt Archive!" Linnea raised her eyebrow. "You knew it existed?" "He suspected," he said, "but no historian ever found proof." Soren knelt and pulled a leather-bound book from a crate. He opened it, pages filled with neat handwriting and stamped with the symbol of the anchor. "These are records," he said. "Names, ships, payments, bribes. Every transaction the guild made to control the coast." Linnea flipped through another ledger. The dates went back centuries, but the last entries were recent, very recent. Current year, local officials, harbor contracts, police names. She swallowed hard. Someone in the police works for them. Hellstrom whispered, "Someone powerful." Soren's hand shook. "Emily found these. She photographed them. I think someone saw her." Before Linnea could answer, a sharp sound echoed through the tunnel.
A metallic clink. A light. Voices. They weren't alone anymore. Soren grabbed the ledgers and stuffed them into a canvas bag. "We have to move. There's another exit, but they'll reach us first." Linnea looked around the cave. The walls were jagged rock, no good hiding spots, only one way forward. "Then we fight." She took out her gun. Hellstrom found an old metal rod. Soren picked up a rusted fishing hook as long as his arm. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Soren glanced at Linnea. "You should know something." "What?" "The guild doesn't fear the police. They own the police." Before she could respond, 3 men burst into the chamber, flashlights blinding bright. "Drop your weapons!" one shouted. Linnea fired first. Chaos exploded in the dark, flashes of light, shouts, the crash of metal on stone. One man fell. Another lunged toward Hellstrom, knocking him to the ground. Soren slammed the hook into the attacker's shoulder, sending him backward. Linnea grabbed the professor's arm. "Run!" They sprinted through the far tunnel as voices echoed behind them. Stone shifted. The ceiling groaned. And then, with a deafening crack, part of the tunnel collapsed, sealing off the chamber and the men inside. Dust filled the air. Silence returned. Hellstrom coughed, shaking. Did they survive? Soren wiped blood from his cheek. Maybe, but they won't stop. Linnea stared at the bag of ledgers, the evidence Emily died for. Then neither will we.
Chapter 9. Wind hammered the coast as the 3 of them emerged from the cliffs onto an empty stretch of beach. Rain lashed sideways, turning the sand into cold mud. The town lights flickered in the distance like dying stars. They ran toward a small abandoned boathouse sheltered beneath the rocks. Soren smashed the rusty lock with a stone, and they slipped inside. The space smelled of salt, rope, and old engines. A single lamp lit the room, powered by a solar battery. Hellstrom collapsed onto a crate, chest heaving. "This is madness," he whispered. "They'll hunt us like animals." Linnea opened the canvas bag and laid the ledgers onto a workbench. Pages fluttered in the wind, leaking through the boards. "No more hiding," she said. "We expose them, all of them." Soren rubbed his forehead. "You don't understand. The guild isn't just rich families and old traditions. They control the harbor, the town council, the banks,
even some officers in your station." Linnea's eyes narrowed. "Names. Give me names." Søren hesitated, then pointed to a list in one of the ledgers. There it was. Payments. Monthly. To a police captain. Captain Madsen. Her superior. Linnea's stomach tightened. The man who welcomed her into Nykøbing with a smile, working for the guild. "If we go to the police, they'll bury everything," she muttered. Hellstrom spoke softly. "Then we go above them. National authorities, media, anyone beyond the guild's reach." Before they could plan further, Søren lifted his head like an animal sensing danger. "We're not alone." A shadow moved outside the boathouse window. Then another. Voices, not shouting, controlled, organized. Søren grabbed a coil of rope and threw it over a beam. He pulled an old wooden trap door open. Down, into the water. There's a drainage tunnel that leads to the harbor. "We can't swim in this storm," Hellstrom argued. "Then we die here." There was no time to argue. Linnea shoved the ledgers into a waterproof bag, tied it around her chest, and helped the professor through the trap door.
The sea waited below, black, wild, freezing. One by one, they lowered themselves into the churning water. Above them, the boathouse door crashed open. Men poured inside. Flashlights scanned the room. Gunshots shattered wood. Linnea let go of the rope and plunged into the icy water. Waves slammed her under, salt filling her nose and mouth. Søren grabbed her arm and dragged her toward the narrow drainage tunnel where seawater spilled back toward the harbor. Behind them, a voice shouted over the storm. "Bring them back, alive if possible." They swam through the tight stone passage, scraping elbows and knees, lungs burning. When they surfaced again, they were inside the harbor, hidden beneath the pier. Nykøbing lay before them, lights flickering, streets empty, silent under the storm. Linnea clung to a ladder and whispered, "The guild has the coast, the police, the town." Søren nodded. "Not for long." Hellstrom pushed his wet glasses up his nose. "But how do we expose them?" Linnea's voice was firm. "We don't need the whole town. We just need one person they can't touch. A judge, a journalist, and a federal investigator. Someone beyond Nykøbing." Lightning split the sky, illuminating the old lighthouse in the distance. The guild had ruled the town from the shadows for a century. Tonight, the shadows were collapsing.
Chapter 10. Rain still beat against the harbor, though the storm had begun to fade. Linnea, Søren, and Professor Hellstrom crawled out from beneath the wooden pier, soaked to the bone. The boats creaked in the water, ropes groaning against metal rings. Nykøbing looked deserted, too quiet. They crossed the harbor, keeping to shadows until they reached a small warehouse with its light dim. Søren unlocked the door with shaking hands, a place he used to repair nets and store tools. Inside, Linnea spread the ledgers on an overturned crate. Water dripped from her hair onto the pages. Each entry was damning, proof of illegal bribes, ship sabotage, smuggling, and murders disguised as accidents. "This can destroy them," Hellstrom breathed. "If we can get out of Nykøbing alive," Søren added. Linnea checked her phone. No signal. "They've jammed communications," she muttered. "We have to move fast." She turned toward the door and froze. Captain Madsen stood there, gun drawn,
rain dripping from his cap. "Inspector Hartman," he said calmly, "you've caused a very big problem." Soren reached for a tool, but Madsen aimed the gun at him. "Hands where I can see them, all of you." Hellstrom trembled. "You were supposed to protect this town." "I am protecting it from people who dig too deep." Linnea's jaw clenched. "You killed Emily." Madsen shook his head. "No, she died because she was careless. But you knew exactly what you were doing." He stepped closer, gun steady. "Give me the ledgers." Linnea took a slow step backward.
If you shoot us, there will be evidence, investigations. Madsen smiled, a thin, cruel smile. "You underestimate how far the Guild's reach goes." He lowered the gun toward Soren, starting with the traitor. Before Linnea could react, a loud clang echoed through the warehouse. A heavy winch chain swung down from the ceiling, slammed into Madsen's arm and knocked the gun from his hand. It skidded across the floor. Madsen shouted in pain. From the shadows behind him, someone stepped forward, a small figure, soaked but determined. Astrid Berg, the bookseller's sister. Her eyes burned with fury. "You killed my brother!" she hissed. Madsen lunged toward her, but Linnea tackled him. They crashed into crates, splintering wood. The fight was brutal. Madsen was strong, trained, desperate, but Linnea was faster. She swung a metal wrench into his ribs. He gasped, dropped to his knees. Before he could recover, Soren kicked him hard, sending him unconscious to the floor. The warehouse went silent, except for their ragged breathing. Astrid shook, tears mixing with rain. "I followed them. I saw what they did to Tomas. I'm not letting them win." Linnea stood and grabbed the ledgers. "Then help us get out of here. We need a phone line, a computer, anything to reach outside authorities." Astrid nodded. "The library. It has an underground generator, internet too. They can't cut it off." Soren tied Madsen's hands with a rope and shoved a rag in his mouth. One less hunter. But Linnea stared at the unconscious captain, unease in her stomach. If the Guild was willing to sacrifice one of their own, then this fight was far from over. Chapter 11. The Library Siege. The old library of Ni Ko Bing sat on a quiet hill overlooking the harbor. Its windows were dark, dust-covered, but inside a faint light flickered. Astrid had led Linnea, Soren, and Hellstrom through the back entrance. A generator hummed softly in the basement. Computers and network cables stretched across tables. The smell of paper and damp stone filled the air. "We can reach the outside world here," Astrid said. "No one can jam the signal underground." Linnea spread the ledgers across a table and began scanning each entry. Ship names, payment records, police bribes, names she had already noted. Now everything was connected. The Guild had been running Ni Ko Bing like a private kingdom for decades. "We need copies. Every ledger, every photograph, every note," she said. Soren began packing them into waterproof bags. Hellstrom helped, trembling as he handled centuries-old documents. Suddenly, the door slammed. Wood cracked. Voices shouted. Heavy footsteps pounded the stairs. "They found us," Soren whispered. Linnea grabbed her gun. Astrid drew a small knife. The four of them moved into defensive positions. Shadows stretched across the room as flashlights swept through the library.
"Give us the documents," a voice called from above. "We won't," Linnea shouted back. The first assailant came down the stairs. Linnea fired a warning shot. The man froze, then lunged. She tackled him, and he went sprawling across a stack of books, sending them tumbling to the floor. More men poured in. Soren swung a heavy wooden rod, keeping one attacker at bay. Astrid ducked and jabbed her knife, forcing another intruder back. Hellstrom clutched a metal lamp like a club, striking at anyone who got too close. The room became chaos. Rain and wind gusted through broken windows. Papers flew like leaves, and gunfire echoed off stone walls. Linnea managed to fire another shot into the ceiling, scattering the attackers momentarily. "Back to the basement," she shouted. "We move through the old tunnels." The group scrambled down a narrow hatch into the underground passage that led toward the harbor. The attackers tried to follow, but the passage was too tight. Soren slammed a metal grate behind them, cutting off the pursuers. Dust and darkness filled the air as the echoes of shouts faded. Panting, Linnea looked at the ledgers. "We're alive, but only barely. The guild knows we have the evidence now." Hellstrom wiped sweat and rain from his face. "We need to get this to someone outside Nykøbing. Federal authorities, journalists, anyone." Linnea nodded. Her fingers tightened around the coin Emily had held. "Emily died to reveal this. We won't let her sacrifice be in vain." The underground tunnel opened near the harbor. Storm clouds still roared, waves crashing against the pier. But they had survived the siege, and now they carried the proof that could finally topple the guild's century-old rule. Outside, the lighthouse loomed in the distance, dark and silent. Linnea knew the guild would not give up without a final fight, and she was ready.
Chapter 12. The wind had calmed slightly, but the sea still crashed against the cliffs in powerful waves. The lighthouse loomed above the harbor like a silent sentinel. Its light had been extinguished for weeks, but tonight it would witness the final confrontation. Linnea, Soren, Hellstrom, and Astrid approached cautiously. The ledgers were safely packed, but their eyes scanned every shadow. Every creak of wood made their hearts jump. "They're waiting inside," Soren whispered, "the core of the 7 houses." Linnea nodded. "Then we end this tonight." The door to the lighthouse swung open as if inviting them. They stepped inside. The smell of salt, rust, and old oil filled their noses. Footsteps echoed from above. At the top, 7 figures emerged from the shadows. Each wore a dark coat. Each carried a solemn expression. The leaders of the 7 houses had come to confront them. "You shouldn't have come," one of them said. A tall man, face hidden beneath the hood. "You know the rules. No one exposes the guild and lives." Linnea held her gun steadily. The rules ended when Emily dived. The men exchanged glances. One reached into his coat. A gun? Linnea fired a warning shot into the floor. The echo shook the lighthouse. Soren stepped forward. "Enough. She's not alone. You can't win this without bloodshed. Walk away now." The guild leaders laughed coldly. "Blood is the only language the 7 houses understand." Hellstrom grabbed a nearby metal pipe. Astrid held her knife. The 4 of them formed a defensive line. A storm of fists, rods, and shouts followed. Linnea fired carefully, disabling a man without killing. Soren used his knowledge of the lighthouse stairs, pushing and tripping attackers down narrow steps. Hellstrom swung the pipe, striking anyone who got too close. Astrid moved like a shadow, precise and deadly. The fight was chaotic.
lightning illuminating the faces of attackers and defenders alike. But Linnea saw an opening. The leader, the tall hooded man, stepped closer to the ledgers. "Step back," she shouted. "One more move and you'll regret it." The man hesitated. For the first time, doubt crossed his face. Then Soren lunged forward, knocking him off balance. He tumbled down the stairs with a heavy crash. The rest of the guild members froze, unsure what to do next. Linnea stepped forward, gun aimed. "Leave the lighthouse. Leave the town. You know the proof is safe." Silence. The only sound was the wind howling through broken windows. Slowly, the remaining members of the 7 houses backed toward the exit. One by one, they disappeared into the night, leaving behind centuries of secrets, but also a warning. The guild would survive, quietly, carefully, if someone tried to rebuild it. The lighthouse was theirs, finally. The ledgers lay on the floor, wet from rain and sweat, but intact. Linnea knelt and picked them up. "It's over," she whispered, though she knew the guild's shadow would never fully leave near Cobing. Outside, the first rays of dawn broke across the horizon. The sea gleamed silver. The storm was gone. Soren stood beside her, exhausted but alive. "Emily would be proud," he said softly. Linnea smiled faintly. "We'll make sure her story is told." The lighthouse, silent and ancient, watched over them. Its light would shine again, not for ships, but as a beacon of truth. Epilogue. A month later, Nyköping Morse awoke to a calm morning. The storm was gone. Seagulls circled above the harbor. Children ran through the square, and fishermen pushed their boats into the water. Life returned, but the memory of the guild lingered beneath the surface. Inspector Linnea Hartman stood at the edge of the pier, holding a waterproof bag containing the ledgers, photographs, and coins. Evidence of decades of secret control over the town, and proof that Emily Ruis had risked her life to uncover the truth. "It's done," she whispered. Søren Carlson joined her, looking out at the harbor. "The lighthouse still stands," he said, "and it's ours now." Linnea nodded. She set the bag down beside a photograph of Emily. The young woman had been fearless, determined, and brave beyond her years. Her courage had exposed a network that no one else could see. "Tomorrow, we start again, and we make sure this town never hides in shadows like this again." The wind carried the scent of salt and the sound of waves. The lighthouse gleamed in the distance, a symbol of light in the darkness. Though the guild had ruled in silence for generations, their time was over, at least for now. The truth had emerged, and with it came a new day for Nyköping Morse. Linnea took a deep breath. The night was gone. The city had awakened, and somewhere, in the gentle hum of the harbor and the flickering lighthouse light, a quiet voice seemed to whisper thanks. Emily's voice, echoing across time, grateful that her courage had not been in vain. The past had been revealed. The future was theirs to protect.